Hello and welcome to Warcraft Daily for today, the 30th of October 2013. So in today's news we have the Blizzcon Live Raid, a little bit of information about that, then there's some blue tweets, and finally we're going to round it off with a whole bunch of nerfs that actually came in for LFR, which probably are going to have the effect of just increasing the participation rate and perhaps the completion rate. And also I'm going to announce an announcement, in that I will announce a giveaway probably tomorrow or the next day on something, which you'll find out in a bit. So, first of all, the BlizzCon Live Raid. This is going to happen at 10 AM on, it's either the Saturday or the Sunday of BlizzCon, and it's Method against Midwinter. They are the best, Method being the best Horde guild in the world, and Midwinter being the best alliance. And the bosses will be the Shah of Pride, Kor'kron Dark Shaman, Malkarok, Siegecrafter Blackfuse, and then Garrosh himself. These are going to be on 25 heroic mode, so as hard as it can be, essentially, and it should be quite fun to watch. It will be it'll be commentated by Ian Hazakostas and Lore, that being Ian being the main sort of systems mechanics guy, and then Lore being one of the community managers. Now also, these guys had previously duked it out in Throne of Thunder during the Siege event. If you don't know what the Siege was, it was an event for promoting 5.4. It seemed to very much involve Athene, which was kind of cool to see him get back into WoW, because his personality, not himself, his character is kind of funny at times. Actually, you know what, I miss the old Athene, in that the character, there's some stupid people who think Athene's actually serious. No, he's a complete joke, and he's a troll, and that's why it's funny. But anyway, enough about Athene. He was just involved in that event. Now, in this event, Method did win. They got through to Throne of Thunder the fastest. Now, some of this could be to do with the fact that Midwinter did mess up Jinrock a little bit, but well, historically, Method do better than, they do a little bit better than Midwinter do in general. Still, it should be quite fun to watch for the raiders, and hell, even if you're not used to raiding, maybe it'll be cool to see how the big pro people do it, I guess. So the next thing is some blue tweets, and this is kind of interesting. They said about talents that they can't talk about future expansions, though overall they are happy with current spec and talent design. What can we take away from this? Well, first of all, no talent systems, talent system revamps coming down the road. I think that makes sense. They don't want to be changing talents every expansion, because I think that just starts to get really messy, and I know that the current system is not perfect, and they do touch on this in a tweet where they say that the new talents are better overall, but they do make leveling a little bit less rewarding. They absolutely do make leveling less rewarding. There are less things that appear to tell you you've got a thing once you ding, which is a little bit of a pity. But overall, I think, these talents, they have some really nice gameplay things at endgame, and here's the example of this. So, I play in a variety of different ways. First of all, I've started enjoying soloing things because just the way my schedule works. So I can have my raid talents, my solo talents, and each of them has a rather meaningful gameplay effect on how I play my character, and I think that's exactly what they were going for. And instead of, okay, one can be cookie cutter in one situation, but over the course of your character, you feel like you can customize yourself a little bit depending on what you want to do. That's why I like it. The problem with I just think the Cataclysm one, it fell too much into the camp of, well, everything's cookie cutter, go look something up. Whereas now it's more, you're soloing, take these, I don't know, there's something about it, I think it's nice. That said, I did kind of like the talent system in Diablo 3. My problems were with the rest of the game, and if you don't know that reference, the Mists of Pandaria talent system is rather similar to the Diablo 3 rune system. They definitely do take inspiration off each other. But, yeah, overall I'm quite happy with talents. Now, they also said that they're happy with talents and specs, so what does this mean? Well, I don't actually think the 4th spec will be a thing in the next expansion. I know a lot of people want a 4th support spec, but, well, I recorded a Q&A yesterday, it'll probably go up in a day or two, about why I don't really want a 4th spec. Well, it's really about the bar class, but I do touch on why I don't think a 4th spec would be the best idea. But overall, just to give you a little bit of a summary, I think that, first of all, a 4th spec, it would end up becoming necessary, probably, because it would be very hard to balance that, and it would break up the sort of tank healer DPS trinity that we've had going on. So if they did add this 4th spec, it would be necessary, which would feel weird. You'd be forcing people into a class to be a part of a raid, which it kind of happens already, but it happens within this sort of formal system that we're all used to and have been for 10 years. So that's one problem, and adding another support role, well, healer, you heal your friends. A tank, you tank the boss. A DPS, you kill things. A support, you throw buffs on people. does that sound like as engaging gameplay? Now that said, personally I don't really find healing that fun because I don't think it's very engaging. So perhaps it's the sort of thing who people enjoy healing would also enjoy a 4th support spec, but I don't know. The reason I talk about a support spec is because a lot of people have actually been talking about that as a possible 4th one. Now, what other things could they mean by specs? Well, maybe triple spec, and unfortunately they did say here that they think that they're happy with the current spec and talent design, meaning there probably wouldn't be triple specs coming out, because that is a part of the whole spec design thing, and I do think this kind of sucks. I would ideally have probably 2 Beast Mastery specs and a, what you call that other thingy? Oh, my head, it's failing. And like a survival one, or a good example as a tank, I'd like to have an arms spec for my PvP, a fury spec for my PvE, and a tank spec for my tanking, and you can't do that at the minute, and it just sort of boils down to things being very hard. Also for gear, and this is actually a little bit of a tangent to run off on, I think that there should be gear should be stored in its own little thing, where you can have, like, you just construct different sets yourself, and it stores them far away somewhere. I just think there's like a better way that they could do gear. But anyway, so there's that. The next and final tweet is they said that they are already, with Flex, essentially, what they want to do is send the message to people that LFR is fine and good, but maybe there's this other thing that they want to try. Basically, there's just someone saying about, is blah 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 nearly necessary, that sort of thing. And they said that overall they just want to encourage people towards Flex instead of kind of whack them with a stick over there. I think that's good, and so yes, they would encourage players to socialize via pugs instead of via looking for dungeons, which was the main sort of point here, and I think that's good. Pugs do reinforce a little bit of a server community. It might be nice actually in these new connected realms, when the realms are connected up, there's a new pool of players, people start people start pugging with each other. I think that actually might be quite a good way for the servers to get to know each other, and a way that would actually work. So that's interesting. Now anyway, to round off the show, we have some, I'm just going to run through every hotfix here for Throne of Thunder, for Siege of Orgrimmar. Sorry if I jarble my words today, I'm really tired. So yeah. Let's do this. For the Fallen Protectors, they've resolved an issue that prevented players who have died from receiving the Go Long achievement. For Nurshen, the Amalgam of Corruption, Manifestation of Corruption, and Essence of Corruption have all had a 15% health reduction. For the Iron Juggernaut, it's had a 5% health reduction. For Kor'kron Dark Shaman, Earthbreaker Harome, and Cardus' health have been reduced by 5% in Raid Finder. And also the Molkvar the Treasurer, who is one of the ads there, his bribe ability should now be properly removed when the target has less than 50% health. Malkorok's health has been reduced by 10%. For the Spoils of Pandaria, the Kor'kron Wild Gun should no longer incorrectly drop normal difficulty loot on Raid Finder and Flex. A little bit of an issue there. They've also resolved an issue that prevented players who have died during the encounter for receiving credit to the Crisscross achievement. Also for Thok the Bloodthirsty, his health has been reduced by 15% in Raid Finder. For the Kor'kron Jailer, who's one of the ads in the Thok fight, it should no longer incorrectly drop normal loot instead of Raid Finder. And then finally for Garrosh himself, the health of Garrosh and the Warbringers and the Farseer Wolf Riders has been reduced by 5% on Raid Finder difficulty. And then the Embodied Despair's health in the Realm of Yasharaj has been reduced by, it doesn't say how much, just that it has been reduced. And finally, they have removed an issue where players were able to obtain the Strike achievement on Raid Finder difficulty. And just to round them off, for the Sunwell Plateau, they've resolved an issue for players who are soloing the encounter that would cause Shrolthar the Corruptor to not award any loot, which would be quite annoying if you spent a long time soloing that guy. Anyway, that's it for today's daily. The little thing at the end, I have a spare Hearthstone key, and I'll probably give it away tomorrow or the day after, or maybe the weekend, soon. Just be prepared for something like that to happen. Yeah, I just got a spare one in the email, no idea how it happened. But anyway, that's it for today's show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button, because it really helps me out. And with that, I'll see you all next time.